start. Good afternoon, dear students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good. So today we are going to discuss about demonstration of small intestine, right? So I think you have not seen the small intestine through naked eyes, is it? Fine. Today we will see the how the small intestine appears and what are the parts of the small intestine. Let us see one by one and how we have to study anatomically the small intestine is, right? So here we have displayed about the completely small intestine, which is divided into three parts. Before we go to the anatomical aspect, I would like to know about the what is the main function of the small intestine is. Can anyone please? Anybody please?
Absorption and assimilation.
Absorption and digestion and absorption assimilation. Okay, well, fine, very good. Now, for absorption, for any absorption, either it is in the form of food or toxin, it may absorb anything or drugs, whatever we have given. Now, how it reaches to the liver, that is the most important thing. The reason is when you study the small intestine, histology at the time we know that there are layers of the small intestine, wall of the intestine. The most inner layer that is used to call epithelium, which is constituted of columnar epithelium. So those columnar epithelium are situated over the microvilli, right, in the form of villi or villus. Single is villus and the plural is villi we used to call it. So these villi, over that there are again microvilli are present. So the villi and microvilli which increase the surface area. It means whatever the you are observing this intestine, so in that it may again 4 to 5 times increase the space during the process of digestion and absorption. So hence that is the reason one must should know what is the length and what are the parts of the intestine anatomically. Then they have to understand about the layer wise, external to internal, what are the layers of intestine and what are the functions of the layer wise this particular, that is most important. So when we discuss about the small intestine anatomically, so the majority of this particular intestine is made up of the absorptive in nature. In the anatomically inner effect, when you especially the inner surface, that is epithelium is concerned. Though it means it doesn't matter whether it is absorbing the nutrient and food materials, although it even takes the whatever the toxin we consume and whatever the drugs and liquids we consume, that everything is consumed by the absorbed by the intestine. Now that exactly junction or else exactly the area from the epithelium to where exactly it enters. So that is absorption from the epithelium. It goes into the, there are small minute cutaneous veins are there. Within that veins, it gets absorbed and it forms a major vein, then ultimately it forms a portal vein. That portal vein drains into the liver, right? So this is how the blood, through the blood, the whole nutrient and both the whatever the content which is absorbed by the small intestine which goes. So when you see through your naked eyes in the abdomen, when you take an incision and you see, you will not see like this completely. So that whole huge intestine should be like this. It is almost it is coiled and assembled like this, right, within the abdominal cavity. Now you may not appreciate this particular layer what we are observing, the brown color, that even will not be there because it is covered by a layer is used to called peritoneum. That is also most important, dear students, because this peritoneum covers the intestine completely, and so that covering, see, so that covering will go and adhere to form a complete beautiful wall. Only this much is the tube. So this is what I am showing. So this much is the, sorry. So this is the tubular area. Only this is the tubular area. One second. So I have to check from here properly. So this is a tubular area, and this is where you just try to see that. So there are a fine teeny blood vessels. So you can appreciate over here. Just like bring most forward. So these are the teeny blood vessels which are piercing the intestinal wall. So these are the walls, vessels which is covered by a two layer. So this is one layer, you see. So another, this side is another layer. So this is another layer. So this layer of peritoneum which is covering, so inside the peritoneal region there are multiple vessels which goes and pierces the intestinal wall. And these vessels are responsible. There are two kind of vessels are there. One is artery, another is veins. And artery is pierces and supplies the blood for the nourishment of the intestine, whereas the veins which absorb the digested food particles from the intestine, as well as they even take the deoxygenated blood from the your small intestine. That is the most important thing one must understand. So whenever we write the blood vessels of the small intestine, the important thing, one, we tell the nourishment purpose, the artery is there. There are multiple arteries. We will come to know that the artery supplying to the small intestine is. And vein, the vein not only draining the vein deoxygenated blood from the intestine, it also drains the content inside, whatever the content which is get absorbed, so that also follow the through the vein, ultimately it reaches to the liver through the portals. That system we used to call portal system, right? Now, for study purpose, the small intestine study purpose we have divided into three different parts, right? The, as you know, the continuation of the stomach will start the small intestine. So small intestine, the first part we used to call duodenum. Then second part we used to call, so this is the second part of the small intestine we used to call jejunum. And this is the third part we used to call ileum. So like that, we have divided the small intestine into major three parts, right? So that is duodenum, ileum, jejunum. So just to see once how the internal architecture of the intestine is. Can you appreciate? So there is ups and dips and ups and dips. So this is how. So this is we used to call rugae. So that we'll discuss later on, right? So we divided the small intestine into major three portions. That is, upper one is duodenum, the middle one is jejunum, and most lower one is ileum. Now ileum connects to the your large intestine through the by means of ileocecal junction, right? Now the stomach, whatever it content leaves from the stomach, so what happens? It which enters inside the your, right. So this shape of the duodenum, you may appreciate over here how it is. It is a C-shaped duodenum. So here in the upper part there is a stomach. Stomach is having upper end and lower end. Lower end is connected to the duodenum exactly. So this is forming the lower end of the the end of the stomach is used to call pyloric end, and which is connected to the duodenum. So what happens when the stomach lower part, that is the pyloric part, connected to the duodenum, where there is a junction between the pylorus and duodenum, there is a valve. That valve is used to call gastroduodenal valve. Remember, this is very important. Means the whatever food material which is getting digested within the stomach, slowly it enters into the small intestine or duodenum. The reason is, as you know, the food which is getting digested within the stomach, already there is a high acids are there to digest the food into 0.5 particles. So that is the reason that whole content slowly leaves into the duodenum to prevent the damage of the duodenum, inner wall, because the corrosive food may damage the inner wall of the intestine, right? So this process, one must and should remember, the gastric empty is not at a time. The gastric empties slowly get leavage from the stomach to the small intestine, that too in the first part of the your small intestine, that is we used to call duodenum, right? Now let us study about the how the duodenum is. Now again, the study purpose, this duodenum is divided into major 4 parts. This upper portion, so this is an vertical portion, this is an horizontal portion, and this is an oblique portion, right? It means this upper portion we used to call, so this upper portion, this is we used to call first part of the duodenum, where stomach, the pyloric end, which continues as a small intestine, this is we used to call the first part of the duodenum. What could be the length? Length of this particular duodenum, this first part of the duodenum is around 2.5 inches, around 5 centimeters is the length of this particular duodenum, right? Whereas the length, so this is vertical part of the duodenum. Vertically, so the second part of the duodenum, right? The second part of the duodenum is approximately around 7.5 centimeter, right? 7.5 centimeter, and there is a horizontal part. Horizontal part is also called third part of the duodenum. It is around 10 centimeter, and there is an oblique part of the duodenum. It's around 2.5 centimeter. It means the 5 centimeter, 7.5 centimeter, another 10 centimeter, and 2.5 centimeter. Overall length of the duodenum is 25 centimeter, right? Remember, first part is 5 centimeter, second part is 7.5 centimeter, third part is, that is your horizontal part, that is almost 10 centimeter, and oblique part, the fourth part is around 2.5 centimeter. Then overall it is almost 25 centimeter is the length of the small intestine is, right? Then the length of the jejunum approximately around 2.5 meters. 2.5 meters. Remember, the 2.5 meters I am talking, not centimeter, not in inches. 2.5 meters is the length of the second part of the small intestine, that is we used to call jejunum, and third part is the ileum. The length of the ileum is approximately again 3 meters. 3 meters, 2.5 centimeters, 2.5 meters to 3 meters, and approximately it is 2.5. That is 25 centimeter, right? It means approximately the overall length of the small intestine somewhere it goes to 6 meters. What if the 6 meters is the length of your small intestine? And the most important thing is in the small intestine is duodenum, which plays very important role, because as soon as the whatever the contents will come to the from the stomach, which enters over here, in the second part it is connected to the two important contents. Those two contents we used to call the pancreatic duct as well as there is a bile duct. Both will come and exactly the pancreatic duct will brings the pancreatic juice, and bile duct will bring the bile for the best absorption and assimilation and digestion of the food. So that is most important thing. So where the second part plays very important role, right? Now the first part, second part, third part, and fourth part. First part is 5 centimeter in length. Second part is 7.5 centimeter in length. Third part is 10 centimeter in length. Fourth part is around 2.5 centimeter. In that 25 centimeter, so the second part 7.5 centimeter plays a very important role. The reason is where the pancreatic duct and the bile duct opens into the second part of the duodenum. Now, when the pancreatic duct which opens into the duodenum, what we used to call that? So that is we used to call, there is a major duodenal papilla. Remember, there is a major duodenal papilla. If you know the pancreatic development, the pancreas is development is having two buds during the development, that is we used to call dorsal and ventral bud. Now ventral bud, then slowly it comes and it pierces. Both are joining to the during the development. They have connected to the duodenum only. When the ventral part and overlaps with the dorsal, so what happens? The both the duct fuses with each other, forms a single duct is used to call duodenum. That is pancreatic duct which opens into the duodenum is in the form of major duodenal papilla. But what happens sometime and in some cases around 3 to 7% of the cases, what happens, the ventral bud opens separately and the dorsal bud opens separately, pancreatic buds opens into the stomach duodenum separately. At the time there will be two openings in the duodenum, that is we used to call major duodenum papillae and minor duodenum papillae, that is inside the second part of the duodenum. So there will be major, one is the major duodenal papillae which drains the bile duct as well as the pancreatic duct. But what happens in some cases, the pancreatic duct opens two places at the time, that is used to call major and minor duodenal papillae which opens into the duodenum. Yes, students, that papillae and inner architecture, for that it is required your presence over here. Definitely when you come to the college at the time, you will take an incision and will show how the major duodenal papillae and minor duodenal papillae. When the two ducts are connecting to this duodenum, so there is a mechanism of that particular major and major duodenal papillae. The whatever secretion coming from the bile duct or else the pancreatic duct, it suddenly not opens into the duodenum. Again, there is a mechanism. So that is used to called ampulla of Vater. So that ampulla of Vater is nothing but so there is a muscular modification of a valve, so which is guarded within the muscular wall of the intestinal wall. So whenever these two ducts, so this is pancreatic duct and bile duct which pierces the intestinal wall, so which is guarded by a muscle layer like this. So slowly it opens into the contents open into. So what happens when there is a multiple folds inside the intestinal wall? So one wall, the fold which is above the opening of the papillae. So this particular papillae when it opens, so this particular fold of the intestine which closes whenever the contents regurgitate. When the content goes back. So at the time the folds we used to call rugae or else the intestinal fold which closes, it means it plays a role of the sphincteric as well as valvular action. So to understand that mechanism, when we come to the department, at the time we will show detail how this particular mechanism will be there and how the intestinal wall play a role to form the valve to prevent the regurgitation of the intestinal content, duodenal content into pancreatic and bile duct, right? So here, so these are the three important things one should know. Now, first part, second part, third part, and fourth part when we know, so relations of this particular first part is, what are the relations, where exactly it is located? So one, before that I would like to tell where exactly this duodenum is located. In relation to the abdominal cavity in relation to the vertebral column. So this is exactly L1, L2, L3 at the level of L1, L2, L3. So this whole intestine, the small intestine is present. Now L1 to L3, the whole content exactly which is representing in the abdomen. So just below the epigastrium, just above the hypogastrium. It means exactly within the umbilical region, the whole content. Now what happens? This forming a C shape. So this is the convexity and this is concavity part. The concavity part filled by there is a head of the your pancreas. The pancreas is exactly largest here and which is overlapped superiorly. The first part, towards the right side, the second part inferior to the head of the pancreas, third part, and the fourth part obliquely runs like that. So that is how the pancreas is situated in relation to the duodenum is. So that is how the location in relation to the lumbar vertebrae, your intestine is present. That is the duodenum is present. Now, moving towards the relations of the first part of the duodenum is concerned. The first part of the duodenum, so this is whatever the 5 feet we are 5 centimeter we have discussed. The first part which is having anterior relation, posterior relation, superior relation and inferior, right? We have divided anterior, superior, posterior, inferior, 4 surfaces. Now the anterior relation is caudate lobe of the liver. If you remember that the liver is overlapped over the intestine, so that is caudate lobe of the liver. Along with there is a gallbladder which comes in exactly over the margin between the first and second part communication. It means the anterior relation of the first part of the your duodenum is in the relation with that is caudate lobe of the liver as well as the gallbladder. Whereas posterior relation, the posterior relation of the small intestine, that is the duodenum, is portal vein. You don't know about the portal vein, how the portal vein formation, everything. So again, when you do the dissection at that time, will come to know. Just remember the whatever the vein which is collected from the small intestine, the 7 to 8 branches form this 2 branches major. That is the superior and inferior common veins. Those veins are forming with each other, ultimately which forms the portal vein. So superior and inferior mesenteric vein we used to call united with each other forms the portal vein. That portal vein ultimately opens into the liver. So that vein is also which is passing behind the second part, that is posterior relation, right? Along with gastroduodenal artery and common bile duct. Gastroduodenal and common bile duct will be. It means the 3 important contents, that is the portal vein, common bile duct and gastroduodenal artery. These are the 3 contents in the posterior relation. Anterior relation, we have the caudate lobe of the liver and gallbladder. Now the superior relation, upper part of the relation, superior relation is your epiploic foramen. There is a foramen between the lesser near the lesser curvature of the stomach and liver in between. So there is a epiploic foramen. So that epiploic foramen is having the separated from the both the portal vein and bile duct exactly. That is comes in relation to the superior relation of your small intestine part of the duodenum is concerned. Now inferior relation exactly here where head of the pancreas, which is completely covered by the head of the pancreas, is the relation to the inferior relation. Anterior, we know the anterior relation, we know the posterior relation, superior relation, and inferior relation of the your first part of the duodenum. So what happens with the second part of the duodenum? So let us study the second part of the duodenum. The second part of the duodenum is almost 7 centimeter, 7.5 centimeter. So what happens? The first part, the liver and gallbladder, it not only the anterior relation of the first part, it extends below and it becomes the anterior relation of your second part. That is transfer second part of the your small intestine. So that is gallbladder, right lobe of the liver, and transverse colon and transverse mesocolon. It means a small coils of intestines also comes over exactly over here. So those are the relations exactly over here comes into the second part of the anterior surface of the your duodenum is concerned. Now posterior relation, this is anterior relation. What happens with the what are the relations of the posterior surface? The posterior surface is exactly this is I have told about the this is L1, L2, L3, right, in relation. Now right side we have the right kidney exactly at the level of L1, L2, L3. It means this is a retroperitoneal organ of duodenum is which is goes back and comes attaches to the exactly anterior relation of the right kidney, right renal vessels, right edge of the inferior vena cava and right psoas major muscle. So these are the four important content: right kidney, right vesicles, renal vessels, right edge of the inferior vena cava, and right psoas major muscle. So these are the four important contents which are comes in the posterior relations of the your duodenum. Second part is concerned. Now the medially towards the medially again head of the pancreas. I told you this is the pancreas which is situated. So superior the horizontal part superiorly head of the superiorly it gives some relation to the inferior surface of the first part of the. Now the medial surface of the second part also gives comes in relation to the head of the pancreas, right? Now lateral surface, this is the lateral surface, this is anterior surface, behind is the posterior surface, this is the medial surface, and this is the lateral surface. The lateral surface from below upward, so there is an ascending column relation, and there is a right colic flexure where exactly the twisting of the large intestine, and there is a right lobe of the liver. So these are the major three contents comes in the lateral surface of the second part of the duodenum is concerned. Now moving towards the third part and its relations. The third part is between the connecting between the third part connecting the second part of the duodenum and fourth part in between. This is having length about 10 centimeters. Now the third part anterior relation. So this is third part from here to here. The third part. Now the anterior relation of the third part of the duodenum is root of the mesentery. You don't know about the mesentery and root of the mesentery, that we will explain when we come to the department. Root of the mesentery, then superior mesenteric vessels, then coils of the jejunum. These are the three importance which are there in the anterior surface of the your third part of the duodenum. And posteriorly behind, exactly in the posterior side, we have right psoas major, right ureter. The right psoas major, right ureter, that is ureter means the continuation of the from the kidney. So there is a tube which goes to the bladder, that is used to called ureter. The right side ureter comes in relation to the posterior surface of the second part of the kidney. And you know there is a vena cava, inferior vena cava, which passes from the right side only. That is also one of the content. And a part of the abdominal aorta and right gonadal vessels, which is supplying to the testis and all those things. Those are the branches of the right renal vein, renal artery. So those are also in relation to the third part of the your duodenum, right? Now, what happens with the inferior surface? We know the anterior surface, we know the posterior surface, we know the superior and inferior surface. Superior surface again, there is a head of the pancreas which comes exactly over here, head of the pancreas, and there is one of the process of the head of the pancreas which is extending, that is we used to call uncinate process. That is, if you know the development of the intestine, then you come to know that that is one of the process will be exactly over here, that is comes in relation over here. And inferior relations, the whole coils of the jejunum which are situated like this, those are the inferior relations of your third part of the duodenum is concerned. Now moving towards the fourth part. Now fourth part is a small, it's almost 2.5 centimeter is the length. So the fourth part is concerned. So anterior surface we have the transverse column which is passing exactly like this. The transverse column of the large intestine. That is the comes in relation to along with the, some part of the mesentery. And posterior relations is almost the left psoas major along with the sympathetic chain of the left side and left gonadal vessels of the renal artery branches, and so mesentery vein will be the your posterior relation of this particular. There are superior relation. Superior relation is concerned. Here, all the three parts, inner surface, we have the pancreas, but here, when you come to the third part, that is the obliquity part, exactly it is a free margin and it is completely covered within the peritoneal cavity. At the time, it goes exactly on the superior side, the body of the pancreas, along with on the left side, the left kidney of the ureter, on the right side, upper pole of the root of the mesentery. Those are the contents comes exactly towards the fourth part of the your uh, fourth part and relations of the duodenum is concerned. Right now, so whenever you explain about the duodenum, you must and should divide into four parts. That is first part, second part, third part, and fourth part. And along with the each part, you must and should explain about the its relations. For example, the first part anterior posterior superior inferior relation. Second part anterior posterior superior inferior, and here it is medial and lateral relation. And third part is also called horizontal part. That is also your anterior superior, posterior inferior, and the fourth part is almost anterior posterior superior. That is almost medial and lateral side. Again, that you have to explain over here. So this is how about the duodenum and its parts and the its relations of the duodenum is concerned. Now, so what could be the blood vessels which are supplying to this particular? So this duodenum is supplied by pancreatico-duodenal artery, which is the branch of ultimately the common hepatic artery. So that is the branch of celiac trunk, and celiac trunk is the major branch of the abdominal aorta. Right? Remember, this is very important. The right and left gastroduodenal artery, so which are supplying to this particular. So one branch which is we used to call gastroduodenal, which is the common hepatic artery branch, which is ultimately celiac trunk, and another is the there is a sphenic artery branch which is common. There is an epiploic artery which is supplying to the margin of the small intestine, that is the right side of the greater curvature of the stomach, and few spheny branches which comes and supplies to the some part of the oblique part of the your small intestine. That is will be there in the exactly. And the vein, exactly this is which is ultimately drains into the superior mesenteric. Duodenal vein ultimately which drains into the your inferior vena cava along. But now moving towards the jejunum and ileum. Now, as much there is a complete tubular structure of jejunum and ileum, there is not much difference, and as it is having a huge almost 2.5 meters is the jejunum. So this is how we can appreciate the jejunum is. So you can differentiate the. So this is duodenum, and this is jejunum. You can differentiate when you touch it and when you feel it. You can appreciate, and there is a much quiet in the jejunal area along and almost on ileum area, and this is little bit tubular in the duodenum region, right? And this jejunum is almost around 2.5 to 3 meters in length, and so this completely this jejunum is covered by the your peritoneum. So inside the peritoneum, both the layer, that is first and the second layer of the peritoneum, which is covering the small intestine. So what it will inside, there is a multiple blood vessels. So this, if you wear these multiple blood vessels, they are piercing the intestine. Concentrate, dear students. I am showing something over here. When the light is passing exactly, so the blood vessel which is crossing exactly over here, so there is a transparency and there is a forming of arcades, window-like structure, right? The window-like structure which is forming over here. So that is most important thing, how the blood vessels divide several times and pierces the intestine. And these windows, when it go on towards the lower segment, they will become more and more and thickened one. So it means, so these windows when you reaches to the exactly in the ileal region, that is broader and having multiple arcades, used to call multiple arcade, and less arcade is present exactly in the jejunum, and ileum will be more arcades will be there. So, so you may not appreciate exactly over here, but still I will try to show you in the ileum how, right? Slowly it is exactly not possible to see properly, but still I am trying to show you something. So you may appreciate exactly. So there are some blood vessels to appreciate, and it is very thickened. Over here. It is not possible to show. You appreciate exactly two blood vessels. You appreciate exactly two blood vessels. Uh, See, so this is we used to call orchids, right? Orchids means the blood vessels almost they are anastomosing like this, and they will give a branching pattern like this, right? So they multiply, they will give the branches and they form the arcades like this. And from the whatever the branches which passes, which connected to the intestine part, intestine, from there they directly drains into the blood vessel. So this is most important thing to differentiate. So when you see the internal structure, the more absorptive the jejunum. When you come to the ileum, ileum is having its own defense mechanism that is used to call Pierce patches. That is very important. Now, what is means by Pierce patches? It is nothing but the lymph nodes. So the aggregation of lymph nodes are more in the reason is the whatever the food which is consumed and which is getting absorbed over here, which is parallelly sends them exactly play the defense mechanism in the small intestine, especially in the lower segment before it reaches to the large intestine. It means things which will be very clearly absorbed and which will be very well defensive mechanism played by means of there is a lymph node aggregation is used for tail patches, which are more in number present in the small intestine, especially the ileum is concerned. Now this terminal part of this ileum is used for, so this is the terminal part of the ileum. So this ileum terminal part connected to the large intestine cecal part, so it is in the form of ileocecal junction, right? So the terminal part of the ileum connected to the cecum, that is the medial side and upper two-third part of the cecum, where exactly which connected. So that part we used to call the junction between the ileum and cecum, that is we used to call ileocecal junction. Again, why I am giving more stress over here? The reason is this ileocecal junction plays a very important role. Whatever the food which is absorbed and remains part which goes into the cecum, it means almost it is waste material which is exactly the terminal part of the small intestine, and from here when it goes to the large intestine, as well as it is used for fecal matter. Now what happens? Sometimes if this wall is not there, from the large intestine, the fecal matter may enters into the small intestine. and that may lead to some complication. To prevent that regurgitation, to prevent that whatever the fecal matters to enter inside the small intestine, we have a beautiful valve is used called ileocecal junction or ileocecal valve, and this particular ileocecal valve is very much question for you, because how the formation of this valve takes place, what are the modification, and how the what are the muscles are present over here, and what are the tinea that we'll study when we study about the large intestine. At the time we come to know that, and how this gardening of ileocecal junction, that also we will study during the large intestine part, right? So this is about your the small intestine demonstration. Simple it is. Please study about the small intestine, majorly the duodenum, where it having the four parts that divides into first, second, third, and fourth part. Along with first part correlation, second part correlation, third part correlation, and fourth part relation is very important, because examiner definitely they will ask along with the what are the blood supply to this particular your duodenum is concerned, and blood supply to the your rest of the small intestine, that is jejunum and ileum, it is supplied by the superior mesenteric artery, right? Superior mesenteric artery, that is a branch of your abdominal aorta. Abdominal aorta. Superior mesenteric artery divides into 8 branches. In that, the 4 to 5 branches will supply to the small intestine. Rest of 2 to 3 branches will supply to the large intestine, up to 1/3 part of the half of the portion of the up to transverse column. So this whatever the blood which is supplying to the small intestine, especially the ileum and jejunum, so that part, so which ultimately drained by the superior mesenteric vein itself. It is the artery is draining, supplying, whereas drained by the superior mesenteric vein. Whereas superior mesenteric vein and inferior mesenteric vein, along with the fusion with each other, forms a mesenteric vein, and that mesenteric vein joins with the splenic vein, forms the portal vein. So this is how the portal vein ultimately drains into the liver. It means the whole small intestine and part of the large intestine, whatever which is absorbed, getting absorption, which is through the superior and inferior mesenteric vein along with its branches, ultimately fused with the even splenic vein, which forms the portal vein, ultimately which drains into the liver. This is very important, dear student. You must and should remember that. And how the architecture of the blood vessels, which is piercing to the small intestine, forming the arcades and the small tributaries, that is also a must. You must and should read and try to understand. If you not, then when you come to the discussion at the time, again once I will demonstrate about all these things, right? So this is about the demonstration of your small intestine concern. So if any queries, please you may ask, or else you can text me the messages, right? Fine. Any doubt, dear students? Any doubt? Sure? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Fine. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Fine. Thank you. Kumar.